audience and also you all here. My presentation is, like I mentioned previously, it's more interactive because when I was scheduled, I saw that I was in the evening, so it's a little bit easier to think practically than not practically. I'm from the Institute of Economic Science, like Valentina. I'm really glad that I'm here, and I really want to thank the organizers for asking me to come with approval of my abstract, of course. So first thing, please take your cell phones and took the photograph, or you have the application for scanning the QR code. When you scan the code, when you scan the code, please vote and tell me when you're finished, because I need to see the results on the end so that I can discuss a little about them. Okay, this is the question.
I did.
You can
reply.
Thank you. So it doesn't matter, but it's so okay. Those results are normal because this conference is directed to digital, so it will be normal. Sorry, maybe it's some technical issue. So the question is, do you think that you have basic digital skills? Of course, most of you, none of you, which no. And it's logical. Like I said, this conference is directed to digital, and it's a normal thing to put yes. But sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we think that we know something and we don't know something. So then I would, okay, so this is the blank slide because I'm going to talk about normal introduction, which we saw in every paper previous years. It's introduction with globalization, that we don't have boundaries, that this is pending, etc. And for all of that, we need some digital skills. COVID-19 learned us all how important digital skills are. So plenty of firms transferred from on-site to online or hybrid. So that is one crucial thing. At that moment, plenty of us saw that we don't know something. Of course, now these days, somebody this morning said that we are going to be lazy and doing from home, from our beds, some our works. And that is one thing more, which is directed to artificial intelligence. So in the previous years, we didn't thought about artificial intelligence so much, but recently, and of course it will expand in the future, artificial intelligence and using of artificial intelligence is very crucial. What we can do about it, before a quick survey, I want to tell you one thing, because this is not a study. I will mention my PhD thesis, which is, I hope, hopefully in the next 2-3 months will be finished. I am identifying factors which influence the digital entrepreneurial competences. So I managed to somehow to distribute the survey to students of the Republic of Serbia, so that I can see which factors influence their level. And one part of my PhD thesis is self-evaluation, and the other part is practical. So that is the thing that I mentioned previously. It's very important to really know what level are your skills, because students, in my study, actually overestimate themselves. So students who put on Likert scale 5 or 4 that they know something, it's on the end, it has resulted with that is not true. So they didn't know the crucial tasks of that. So they overestimate themselves. And the opposite, those who knew, they underestimate themselves. So quick survey 2, please. Sorry, I wanted to to show some digital skills of yours. So the question is, do you use artificial intelligence for daily activities and work? Example is ChatGPT.
The key word is daily.
Daily, yes.
Okay.
Crucially, yes.
The answer would be different if there was no.
Of course, of course.
For my generation.
Okay, so results shows us okay, for 67% yes and 33% no. So of course, because it's crucial that parts daily, it's good that you don't use artificial intelligence daily, because we don't want ourselves to be yes, thank you, dependent of artificial intelligence. We need to know at what time and in what manner and how much we should use artificial intelligence. And also sometimes when we are using, we need to know where are the parts to see and to be involved to change something, because ChatGPT is not working that much. And it shouldn't work because we are human, and there is no, sorry.
There you go. Can you check the
Next slide. Sorry.
Time is flying.
I know. Click. Okay, so what I wanted to mention regarding my PhD thesis, and also in this point of measuring digital skills, European Commission has the framework of measuring the digital skills, and it is named Digital Competence Framework. This framework is not the first one. The first one is not digital at all, but this one is from 2016 year, so it's not a new one. On the next slide. This is the update, and this is the newest digital competence framework, which involves artificial intelligence. So we should think about it. We should try to measure ourselves with their scale, and also others if we are working in firms and etc. Quick survey 3, sorry, 2 minutes. Okay, so maybe I will. Okay, so this question is to pick one benefit of using artificial intelligence, and it's increased efficiency, increased safety and security, personalization, better organization, or other. So, okay, I think that we will all agree that some bureaucracy and something that we cannot manage by ourselves, it's maybe monotonous, boring in some way. The ChatGPT or other artificial intelligence should help us in those things, and that is increase efficiency at all. But like I said, next slide, please. So I have 1 minute more because of technical issues. I won't bother you with
not to change.
If it's not too involving. So the last one: are you concerned about how artificial intelligence will impact our lives in the future? Because I think that we don't know the answer of our future and how it all will go in the future, but I can say that one thing is crucial from this presentation to measure our skills, to try to be realistic, and to try to see at what point should we use and at what point not. So yes, the future topics, I want to do the survey and to measure digital skills in firms, but only in administration, because we have a little older administration and want to see at what level are their competences. So the final slide is most important because it's my name on that slide. So please. Okay. It's okay.
Share your name.
Digital skills. No, it's not that. This is reference, and now the final slide. And of course, I'm here for any questions, collaboration, really open and really love digitalization. So thank you once again.
Thank you, Gina. Thank you very much. So we have any question for clarification or contribution to the yes, please.
Very short. It is not a question, it is just a comment. When you calculated, okay, or shared the percentages of, let's say, ChatGPT daily, etc., so that, and you interpret it, we do not want to be dependent on, etc. It is not the only reason. For instance, I still think it is very narcissistic, but I do believe that I know more than ChatGPT in my field. So that's why I do. That's why I don't use it daily. I really, from time to time, check did I miss something, etc. And I always know that okay, I do know and I understand better than ChatGPT in my field. Okay, it is just that it is not that I want not to be dependent, because I'm not dependent at all. Okay, it is my generation reaction and my professorship self-confidence. Okay,
Okay.
they are not. They are more naive. They are not more flexible.
Yes, yes, true. But it's nice to be flexible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. True, completely.
Okay, Dr. Birkene Dionisi. Okay, you will be talking about the
As
digital
we said,
literacy.
we are speaking about digital skills and the role that academia has in developing these skills as formal institutions in the structure of education in any country. So as I said, we are three of us. We are three researchers in the University of Shkodra that is situated in North Albania. This research initiated on Western Balkan on a research project we had with Serbia, with the center, and with Bosnia, all together to study platform economy in the Western Balkans. As I said, it was something new for me to see that also people that I knew from before, also my colleagues, were all were working on digital on platforms. And we, with that project funded by Western Balkan Fund, we did 20 interviews. I had some raw data on the interviews, but something that was very interesting, it was most of them were working on IT sector, on Upwork, most of them on Upwork, and most of them were, some of them were working as a full-time job, and yeah, but it's not. It's stuck. And okay,
sorry, Birkene.
I will be back. I'm sorry for the audience, but because of this rescheduling, I have a meeting and I have to leave. I won't be back in 1 hour. I'm really sorry.
Thank you.
perhaps in time for questions.
Okay, so I will be open for see you soon. So.
Given the digital skills we are discussing, it's amazing how many difficulties we are having now.
Yeah, finally. So, okay. I'm in power, yeah.
Great, great, thank you.
So here is the, Here is the Western Balkan Fund that the research project that I was mentioning before, and we have the average age of the interviewees was 32 years old, and 39 of them were working full time. But they, all of them accepted that it was a great possibility for work, sometimes better than traditional job. And we had also one of our colleagues that left her job as a professor in university to go online on platform work. And they accepted also that it was a great possibility to gain some skills that they couldn't be gained in other parts, so out of the platform. Then after that, we did this needs assessment on digital skills as part of an Erasmus Plus capacity building in higher education. We are we are leading a consortium of 9 partners, and we are 4 higher education institutions, 3 in Albania and 1 in Montenegro, that went through this digital skills analysis. And here we did 2 questionnaires, one on students and one on academics. And also to go more in depth on the study, we went through also each of our institutions went through 3 focus groups. I am giving information only for the University of Shkodra, in fact. Here I have, we have separated only some information because it's full study and we have a lot of information there. Here is the share of students that do not have proficiency or have limited proficiency, and we see that it's relatively high. Digital creation, productivity, software and video production, it's relatively high for the no proficiency or limited proficiency for students. And also here is some information on level of knowledge for digital literacy by gender. And we see that males are better positions that women, that female on internet, on digital skills. But then going on lectures, you see that the same questions got some slightly higher percentage. So going on no proficiency or limited proficiency on academics, there is the percentage is slightly higher than on students. And then going more in depth on how they are using technology while sharing knowledge and giving their lectures. So we saw that only 10% of them were, in total of 49, were exclusively for all their courses they are using digital content. But then the other part, so we see that not at all, there are 4%. I didn't say that we have 6 faculties, and one of them is the economic faculty. In fact, for this study, we had academics and students also from all the university, and in order to be all represented. But the economic faculty is better represented in figures in accordance to the other faculties. So, for example, we have the Faculty of Natural Science, and they pretend that gaining digital skills sometimes it's out of their fields. So yeah. And here is the level of interest. So 29% are very interested to incorporate artificial intelligence or machine learning. So we have also the focus groups, and the focus group was very interesting because there we saw, the percentage on academics on no literacy was slightly higher, and then going on focus groups, academics gave a lot of reasons for not using artificial intelligence and so on, digital content, because no infrastructure, and not because of their skills. But then going on how important is for students to get information through digital content, students accepted that they would like more digital content, so that it would be easier for them to gain knowledge. And then going on stakeholders, they accepted that there is a gap in skills in what they want from the students in the job market and what they get in fact from them. And they did some recommendation about the digital skills. In fact, I have to mention what was mentioned before. So it's important, digital skills are not important just for the platform economy, but for the digital economy. So Albania has put a lot of effort on digital content and digital things. So our government is doing a lot of to turn everything on e-services. So on digital, we are all online for independent by our age. So we have to go online to get service from the government. So because of that, digital skills, and also for the business, everything is going online, everything is updated regularly. So they need digital skills for the employees. So because of that, they did these recommendations. And here are some discussions going through by our study. So there is a gap in these skills imparted at the university, of those demanded by the job market. There is this immediate need to incorporate digital software knowledge in the curricula, but sometimes we are public university, and it's a little difficult for us, as we have a lot of bureaucracies, but sometimes also people are not so eager, academics, I mean, are not so eager to change. So it's something that it's happening, the change, I mean, it's happening slowly and more slowly that what is happening outside on platform economy and digital economy. So it's very important to strengthen collaboration between academia and stakeholders. We have this third mission. It's very beautiful, and when speaking, but then when going on implementing it, it's not so easy. We have tried ourselves, our team, and it's not so easy. And it's very important, as I mentioned also in some discussions yesterday, it's very important to include higher education institution when designing local and national strategies. And this is a reminder for the policymakers that in order for the strategies to be well designed and well implemented, then Albania is going through, for the moment, it's going on the process of designing the smart specialization strategy. So it's a good time for going on collaboration. So here are our contact details. Here we are only me and Elvisa. Brisena, she's online, hopefully. And yeah, we are here for your questions now or then. I'm in time. I'm a lecturer, so thanks.
Actually, you really also, previous speaker, actually, we are now diving into this digital skills as we use always, but it's always unclear what these digital skills are. A basics digital skills or digital safety or software development. We need to probably define better this digital skills, the title digital skills. Any burning question for Birikene? Yeah. Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks very much. On your last slide, you said that the gap between the skills imparted by the university and those demanded by the labour market, there's a gap. How do you know that from your data?
Yeah, because part of the study was a focus group that we did as a university, we did with stakeholders in our country. And then in this focus group, it was discussed how they needed some skills, but they weren't finding that by the employees that are getting, so by our students that are going on the job market. And they did some suggestions on that. So it's very important also to do together projects with, because also in the economic faculty, we do a lot of practice project with our students, but then going on formal collaboration with them, because usually we go on informal collaboration. I mean, I know some businesses and my students go there to do their practice, but then going on formal collaborations, that it would be much easier. But then I remember yesterday remarks about Professor Graham that told about that what they were doing in Germany about these companies that has more than 1,000 employees, but then we are small economies. So we going on the structure of the business, 92% of the business is small business and 99% of the business is SMEs. So it's not so, we are not speaking on big economies. And they are not so eager. They say we are going to collaborate, but then going in practice, it's more difficult. Thanks.
Okay. Now we have a dilemma because of the time. Thank you very much, Brekene. We need to close actually in 4 or 5 minutes. This is what I was told by the organizers. But we have another speaker, the last speaker, which is Gina Whiteman, who is going to tell us about her project research. But Gina, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
I'm really sorry for the time management, which didn't go very well, but we didn't get that information. Indeed. Would you be okay to wait for another 5 minutes to take Gina's presentation?
If people wanted,
Yes. Gina, can I ask you to be really precise to present your paper, which is about youth digital social entrepreneurship in transition economies?
Yeah.
Because of the time limitations.
If it's easier, I'm happy to not present because I'm virtual. If you wanted to just move on to the Q&A, because mine will take 10 minutes, the presentation, I think. So I'm not going to be upset if you don't have time for it. It's fine.
We do.
Okay.
Yes. We see now.
Excellent. I will get started. I'll try and speak quickly but clearly, which is a bit difficult at times. So I'm part of a team of 3. It's me, it's Arta, and it's Anna. We are looking at how do you measure the skills gap for youth digital social entrepreneurship. We're looking at the case study of Kosovo, Albania, and North Macedonia. So why are we doing this? We know that young people are much more digitally literate than older generations, and they're considered to be a lot more socially conscious as well. So they're much more aware of social challenges and much more interested in tackling some of them. We know that youth unemployment and economic inactivity is a rising concern amongst governments in the Western Balkans. We know that in policy, there's a growing push towards digitalization, youth entrepreneurship, and social innovation. So what we're looking at is the intersection between digital entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship. So where digital entrepreneurship is the use of technological platforms, social entrepreneurship is achieving a social mission or goal. What we're looking at is the young people who are starting businesses that kind of do both. They're entrepreneurial initiatives with social purposes developed by incorporating digital technologies into the business model. What we want to know is, who are the young people starting these businesses? What skills do they have? what skills do they think are important to have that they might not have right now, and who is doing what to help them develop these skills. So as I mentioned earlier, it's in quite the early stages of this project. We are currently still data collecting, but our research objectives are to analyse the key skills essential for the success of the young digital social entrepreneur, evaluate the existing skills development initiatives, so what's going on in each country to support these young people to develop the skills necessary. And then we're determining and assessing the gap in required skills. So what's missing? Where is the support lacking? How can we look to improve this? So why is this topic important? Many digital social enterprises operate within the platform economy. Formal education institutions aren't fully competent in preparing young people for work within the platform economy. So we know that there's a significant skills gap developing. We know that digital skills are crucial for entering the workforce in the 21st century. And we also know that amongst young people, there's a growing awareness of the importance of the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. Yet there's quite a big gap in training and guidance on how to actually achieve these. So our methodology that we're working through is stakeholder mapping. So we're mapping out who's doing what in each country. We've also done a policy document analysis. So what's the policy saying? What's the priority of the policymakers? So we've conducted these two activities so far. We're now currently disseminating our skills competence survey. So this is currently in process. I don't have the results from this yet. In a couple of months, we'll have a nice report that tells us this. Our current findings so far, so relating to the ecosystem in each country, we know that the key supporting actors, so incubators and accelerators, they're centred around the capital cities. So if you're a young person that's starting a business and you aren't located in Skopje, in Pristina or in Tirana, it's very difficult for you to access some of the key support required. What we do know though in Kosovo is that Prizren is developing as an ecosystem within itself due to the ITP. We know that the formal education institutions in each country lack a strong support for entrepreneurship currently. This is reflected in the current curriculum and provision of extracurricular support. There are a few institutions that are doing some really impressive work, but it's quite slow progress so far. We know that there's quite a strong institutional support for digital entrepreneurship. In each country, there is policy supporting digital business, but there's very limited targeted support for social entrepreneurship. We know there are programs that operate across the Western Balkans, so RISE and Eunice Social Business, for example, but they're often very short-term programs. There's very limited long-term support. We also know there's very limited access to external financing for any business, but particularly for a digital social business. So we know there's a lack of venture capital, small grants, and limited government support. When it comes to policy, we know that entrepreneurship and digitalisation are emphasised in each country. We know there's a big investment in business accelerators, incubators, and innovation parks. We know that, however, we do know the legal status of social enterprises as primarily related to the inclusion of vulnerable groups. So amongst these countries, there is a legal status developing or in the process. It's not that strong. There's limited focus on sustainability or the UN SDGs. And when we're looking at our skills gap, so we have our survey out currently, our expected findings are there's much greater digital competence than social competence. This is just due to the support available. A lot of organisations provide digital training. There's not much on social entrepreneurship training. There's going to be a perceived lack of financial support and mentorship opportunities amongst young entrepreneurs. So this is based off of our mapping activity that we've seen so far, that there isn't much finance available. The support available is acceleration, incubation. It's not so much mentorship and more informal support. And we know from existing literature that female entrepreneurs have greater interest and competence in social entrepreneurship, but I'd be very interested to see how that plays out in our survey and our data collection. So what does this mean for research and practice? It helps us identify some of the gaps in policy. So for example, our social enterprise frameworks for policymakers. This can help improve institutional support and frameworks for digital social entrepreneurs. Identification of some of the challenges faced by young entrepreneurs, so the lack of access to support, which doesn't help them develop the skills they need to improve that provision of support. And identification of some of the skills gaps. So what is actually missing for these young entrepreneurs? So the hope of this is to better improve training and mentorship provision. I hope that has been concise enough for you. So I will finish there. There's a nice list of references, but that's not that interesting. Thank you.
You want to? Yes, please.
Sorry, I was just a little confused by the definition of this social entrepreneur. Could you give some examples of some endeavors that would qualify as social entrepreneurship?
So do you want local examples?
Whichever. I mean, just some examples to maybe easier imagine what is meant by social entrepreneurship, specific endeavors.
Yeah, so for us, it's businesses that are contributing. So over 50% of their profit is usually the definition, reinvesting it back into social causes. An example that I've been working on, so I'm based in the UK, for example, Baltic Creative is based in Liverpool. It's a social enterprise that reinvests into developing the community of socially trading businesses. So it's essentially businesses that rather than retaining profit to give out to shareholders, 50% of that is reinvested into social challenges, social issues they are facing in the community.
Okay. Okay. Sandra, do we have any questions from online? You want to? Could you please?
I was interested to hear that you'd come across a lot of innovation centers and innovation parks. I can't quite remember what the terms were you used, but how do these interact with social entrepreneurs and with developing the digital skills?
So from what we've seen so far, so I'll speak about, so a bit of context, my PhD has been looking at Kosovo and Slovenia in digital social entrepreneurship. So the country that I've primarily focused on is Kosovo. So with ITP Prizren, I know they do quite a lot of work in providing the social entrepreneurship training. They have on site a few socially trading businesses, as well as you can be in Kosovo, considering the framework. So they provide guidance in how to tackle these social challenges. They also provide, there's an organisation, off the top of my head, I can't recall what it's called, but that provides the training and support for other startups on how to develop those technical skills further. So digital skills primarily relating to AI. So again, we're in the early stages. So I've seen there's other innovation centres. We're still digging into and trying to get the data on what they're doing. But I know from my experience with ITP, that's what they've been doing.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Gina. I think we are at the end of the session. We talk, my takeaway from the session is that we talk a lot about platform era and platform work, but we don't really know much about the skills needed. And we still need to adjust our skills system towards the new realities of the labor market. Even the term digital skills is so broad that we cannot really define properly, and then of course to be taught in the schools, in the learning centers, etc. But it's not only digital skills. We also learn from different presentations that there are other skills like entrepreneurship skills, transversal skills, which are not really currently emphasized in our curricula in the schools. I don't want to take your time, so if you have any last thing to say, please say it. Otherwise, I would like to. Yes, please, Iman.
We would need to move on. So sorry.
Please, quickly go. I'm so sorry. I just wanted to share one last thing, because when we see the different presentations, even though these are different countries, there are so many similarities. And this applies also to Morocco. I wanted to add a comment after your presentation, but Gina's presentation has also this information. Most of us talk about the partnership between the education system and the private sector, the fact that we should collaborate to develop curriculums that serve the graduates who are going to work in the labor market. That's a good thing. That's what we say. But when you go to the ground, you talk to people, the education system representatives, and then also the private sector, you see that there are so many differences between what each stakeholder says. At the end of the day, I'm going to talk here about the Moroccan experience, my university. When I talked with the private sector representatives, they say that we are not included. We need to be more involved. There should be a professional who sits in the table, who teach and train the different students, the future graduates. And then when you talk to universities, again, my university, there are so many actions and the effort is made to include digital skills, include digital learnings, and also different other technical and soft skills in the curriculum. So the effort is here, but the thing is, from my opinion, from what I saw as part of our research, is that the pace is different. Once we see what's needed in the labor market, we try to incorporate it in the curriculum, and then 2 years after it's already, yes, it's not used anymore by the companies.